Hello, friends. My name is Steve. This is Steve Talks Books. Thanks for coming by watching my weekly update. It's where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, what I will get to, and everything else in between. If you'd like to connect with me, the best place is on our forum at pagechewing.com. It's where we have all of our bookish shenanigans. It's where we organize. It's where we talk. With lots of new people there. Like I said, it's been picking up lots of activities, so it's really encouraging to see. Come on by and say hello. I can also be found on Vero at that one MFer. And I can never help but laugh when I say that, but so I can be found there. That's mostly my non-bookish content. It's more of what I'm watching, what I'm reading. I'm on a 365-day challenge, which means I have to take and post a photo every day for a whole year. So I'm about 120 something days into that now. So swing by and say hello if you enjoy Vero, or it's a platform with no algorithm, no ads. So I've been spending lots of time there, and so I enjoy that platform. So if you're on there, connect with me, and we'll share some cool pictures. So let's go ahead and start off with what I've been reading lately. So this week I did finish 11th Cycle, Be Kian and Ardalan. And it was an arc that we received from Kian to read it early. We did have a discussion on Saturday about this when we had half non-spoiler, about half an hour non-spoiler, about an hour plus spoiler. The non-spoiler section will be posted this week, but the spoiler section I think will wait until after the book is released, because we don't want to spoil it for anyone. It hasn't been released yet, so don't want to spoil the experience for anyone, but that's coming soon. 11th Cycle is very dark. It is Dark Souls inspired, and there's I would suggest reading the forward first. There's lots of difficult themes and scenes in it, so it can be a pretty heavy read. But there's also some hope and optimism in there too, if you're looking for it. So it is there, and there's some other sections that are inspiring. So it's not totally dark, but it is pretty dark. So. But if you're curious to learn more, we'll be posting that non-spoiler discussion later this week. We also did read the first 3 chapters of The White Look Warrior. It's the second book of the Aspect Emperor series. So reading that with Daniel and Katerina for the podcast. And it seemed kind of light. Not a whole lot was going on. We managed to talk for over an hour and a half about it, but we always manage to talk whenever we get together. So it's always a good time. But so enjoyed that. I think The White Look Warrior seems to be the one book that people are kind of hit and miss about in the series. Like, I think most people who enjoy the series say that it's not their favorite book in the series. So we'll see how that works out. I also did start a Game of Thrones this week for our discussion for Game of Thrones next week. And so that one, I was reading it during reading sprints this week, and it is different enough that it's keeping me interested. But it's similar enough that I'm flying through it. It's I can, because I've seen the show a couple of times, so in that sense I kind of know what's going to happen, and it's one way I kind of see everything coming, but there's small differences so far that are enough to keep me invested and interested in the story. It's not just like a recap. There are subtle differences, and I want to be able to pick out those differences later. I want to be able to say, well, this is different in the show, and kind of dissect why they made those decisions, why they changed it for the adaptation. I think that's all pretty interesting. And I did listen to a little bit of Come With Me by Ronald Malfi, listening to that on audiobook. So I did get some of that in this week. It was just kind of a weird week. I did get some reading sprints in this week, and that was a lot of fun. Talk about that here in a minute. But this week I will be reading A Game of Thrones and also Nemesis Games. It's the 5th or 6th book in the Expanse series. We're reading that with Layla, with Robin from Bookends and Biscuits, and of course our friend Chris Moen. So we're going to be discussing that next weekend as well. So I have lots of reading to do this week, lots of pages to get through. Thankfully, the Expanse books are pretty easy reads. They're not very heavy. I usually fly through those too, so that's a good thing, especially this week. So looking forward to that, getting into that series. We're nearing the end of the Expanse. I think we have a few more books to go, but we're over halfway through, so that's pretty neat. And we will be reading the next 3 chapters for The White Look Warrior. I think we're reading chapters 4, 6, and 7, I believe. So we'll be getting through those this week. That's another about I think it's about 90 pages. So I'll be doing that. And so yeah, lots to do this week. Lots of reading to get in. After this week, thankfully, my schedule opens up quite a bit. So I just have to get through this rough patch, and we'll be okay. So cross your fingers for me. It's going to be a busy week. Also on the channel this week, I did have lots of reading sprints last week, and that was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying that. I think the best part is just connecting with all of you, and I'm starting to remember what everyone's reading and kind of getting, like, how are you enjoying it? And we kind of talk about it. And I think the amount of time I spend on sprints, I think I may even read a little bit more than I do when I'm just reading here by myself. So it's not only fun, but it's productive. So I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect to get through so many pages. I think having the timer and having everyone here, I think it kind of, keeps me focused and doesn't let my mind wander too much and kind of, veer off like squirrel, kind of trying to keep things in line. So that's been helping me out a lot. Thanks to all of you who have been coming by for those. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really, really enjoyable. It's just what I needed. So I plan to continue those. I think this week we'll probably have one or two. Not sure just yet, but I'm thinking maybe Monday and maybe Thursday, but we'll see how it works out. Also, speaking of this week, we are having the Friday conversation this week. This week will be Joe Byrne and AR with them. So we have those, and I believe Taylor from, of course, Maybe Between the Pages will be there with me because it is now page chewing Friday conversation. So looking forward to that kind of sort of first episode. It's not really, but so I'll be looking forward to that. We didn't have a Friday conversation last week. I did have, had some plans to go out with some friends, and we were going to celebrate my birthday a little bit early just because everyone was off that night or could get off that night. So we went out and just had a good time. Nothing crazy, just, having a good time. So did that. There was an episode of Page Chewing that I missed, and that was with Philip Chase. So go check that out. That's on Taylor's channel if you missed that. I did catch bits and pieces of it, but of course, it's Philip Chase, so it's always interesting. And as I mentioned earlier, the non-spoiler section of 11th Cycle or discussion with Kian and Chris, and of course Aaron was in the chat. Our non-spoiler portion will be posting this week, and then the second half we'll post later. But this week I will be posting that non-spoiler section. And also I did have a video last week. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing about books with the very, I don't want to say low ratings, but not very many ratings, 30 or below total. And I wanted to bring some attention to some of those books. I was a little bit surprised that these books had so few ratings. It kind of surprised me. So I wanted to do something and kind of spread the word. I have a list of more, and I plan to do more. I don't want to do them too close together, though. So I'm going to try and spread those out. But we will be having more of those coming your way. There was more with less than 10. There was some that were just, yeah. So hopefully you find something that you enjoy from that list. We're always up to something on the forum. We're always planning things. We're always planning group reads or have in the middle of one, or there's always something going on. But we did have a couple of new ones. We did plan to start The Making of Gabriel Davenport by Beverly Lee in April. So that will be happening. And also we will be taking Berserk, I believe a volume a week, starting in February. So that'll be coming up soon. I think each volume is about 200 pages, and that sounds like a lot, but in that format, it's really not too bad because there's not a lot of text. So I think we'll be okay. But we're going to start doing that, I think, Sunday mornings U.S. time. So if you're interested in joining us, it's all there on the forum. Go check it out. We are making those plans and moving forward. So I'm excited about that. And here in February, be able to start doing other things. And like I said, my schedule will open up quite a bit. I mentioned last week that my friend Joseph Carroll, J.R. Carroll, and I had a friendly bet about the Bills and Bengals game. He's a Bengals fan. I'm a Bills fan. And we had a kind of a bet that if whoever won or whichever team lost, the other person would have to wear like a shirt or a hat or something. It was a fun, kind of just a fun way of kidding around and having some BookTube beef, some friendly beef. And of course, unfortunately, those of you, I think everyone knows about it by now, even if you're not a fan, is of course the Damar Hamlin injury. That was just like kind of like a freak thing. So of course, Damar Hamlin was injured during that game, and he had to be resuscitated on the field. It's just a terrible situation. So Joseph and I got together, and instead of course, they called the game. They decided not to play it because of what happened. So I think it's canceled. They canceled the game. There won't be a replay of it. And because of that, I think we wanted to do something nice, of course. And Dormar Hamlin has a GoFundMe page for underprivileged children. So what we did is we both made a donation to that charity. I will link that down below if you want to make a donation for it. But we thought that would be a nice way of just showing our support and, in this really, just a really strange, really sad situation. A couple of weeks ago, I posted my top 15 books of 2022, and I did have a giveaway for 3 of them last week. So in the comments, you had to mention what book you wanted. You got an extra entry if you posted on the forum. So I'm going to draw the names now. So if you entered, here's the drawing. So there you go. Those are the winners. If you are a winner, please contact me either on social media or via email or smoke signals or something, and I'll try to get back to you so I can get your address and send the book or books your way. So my question this week is about birthdays. I think everyone has a different opinion about birthdays and kind of the way they handle them. I've met some people who take a whole month, like it's my birthday month, I'm going to celebrate. Some people don't care at all. It's like just another day, nobody cares. But I'm kind of in the middle. I think they're kind of neat and they're kind of fun. I think, it's always been like a fun day. It's not like everything has to be about me kind of day, but it's been kind of like just a fun way to, it's almost been like my new year in a way, like my reset. I've kind of considered that more of like a reset button for me than New Year's is, if that makes sense. So how do you handle birthdays? I always take the day off for kids or for other family members' birthdays, take the day off, and we usually do something, they pick what to do and we go out and do something fun, kind of, let them pick what they want to do for the day. So I think this year, I'll be going for a bike ride and then probably just hanging out, watching movies and eating food I shouldn't be eating. So that's my plan. But how do you handle birthdays? What's your view on them? Is it just another day? Is it a special event? What's your opinion on it? Has it changed over the years? Has it been different? I think I've always been kind of the same. Hasn't really changed too much for me, but let me know down below what your views are on birthdays. So how are you doing? What are you reading, watching, or listening to? Let me know down below how your week is going, how your week was, which plans for this week, what you have going on. I always love to hear about it, and I always get suggestions on stuff I could be listening to, could be reading, could be watching. We have been watching South Park, and I've forgotten how funny it is. I think I've never been a constant watcher of it. I've kind of popped in and out through the years. I've never watched it religiously, but going back and watching the episodes I had watched before, and then the ones that I missed, it's of course it's hit and miss because there's so many episodes. But I think overall it's been pretty funny. I think they have a way of making fun of everyone on both sides. So they walked that line pretty well, I thought, so far anyway. But we're not caught up. We're just kind of taking it slowly, kind of just enjoying the ride. So, but let me know down below how you're doing. What are you watching? What are you reading, watching, and listening to? And hope you're having a great week. Thanks to all of you for your support and for your friendship and for supporting the channel. I did mention a new channel that I have coming up, and I don't want to launch it until I have more content. So that is coming. It is in the works. I just have to get through this really crazy few weeks of reading. But once I do, I'll start working on that, and I'll let everyone know when it's ready. The few of you who do know about it have already subscribed. So I have a couple of subscribers with no content. So it's already starting to, it's already, kind of, don't forget about me. You have subscribers. So I have like 7 of them. It's not a ton, but for a new channel, that's a lot. So But it is in the works. So thanks to all of you for coming by. I hope you're having a great week. Hope you're having a great start to your 2023. And we will talk to you soon.